Two people, same age, same income, both hitting 60 with the same anxiety. Do I have enough? One of them has a written income plan, spending targets, a social security bridge, a healthcare budget. The other is guessing. According to Vanguard's 2024 How America Saves report, households with a written retirement income plan accumulate nearly 2.7 times more in investable assets than those without one. Same income, a factor of nearly 3. The difference isn't earning power, it's a framework, and that's exactly what this video gives you, a clear, evidence-based framework for figuring out your real retirement number at 60, even if you're starting late. Your real retirement number. Let's start with the most important question. How much do you actually need? Here's my take. Stop thinking about a savings balance and start thinking about annual income. The balance is just a means to an end. Income is what pays your bills. The most widely used starting point is the 4% rule, originally developed from research by financial planner William Bengen and later reinforced by the Trinity study. The rule says that if you withdraw 4% of your portfolio in year one and adjust for inflation each year after, your money has historically lasted 30 years across most market conditions. That means a $1 million portfolio supports roughly $40,000 per year. A $750,000 portfolio supports about $30,000. A $500,000 portfolio supports around $20,000. Now, the 4% rule was designed for a 30-year horizon. If you retire at 60, your horizon could be 30 to 35 years. Some researchers, including those at Morningstar, have recently suggested a more conservative 3.3% starting rate for longer retirements. I'll use 3.5% as a practical midpoint for this framework. Your specific rate depends on your asset allocation and expected expenses, but the structure holds. So here's the math. Figure out your annual spending need. Subtract any guaranteed income you'll have at 60, a pension, part-time work, anything reliable. The gap is what your portfolio has to cover. Divide that gap by 0.035. That's your number. For example, if you need $60,000 per year and expect $10,000 from part-time consulting, your portfolio must cover $50,000. Divided by 0.035, that's roughly $1.43 million. Adjust that for your own spending reality. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that Americans aged 65 to 74 spend an average of $57,818 per year, but your number could be higher or lower depending on where you live and whether you carry a mortgage. The Social Security bridge problem. Here's where retiring at 60 gets complicated, and where most people underestimate the cost. You cannot claim Social Security before age 62. And if you claim at 62, the SSA reduces your benefit by up to 30% compared to your full retirement age benefit, according to the Social Security Administration's own published reduction tables. My recommendation is clear. Delay Social Security as long as you can afford to, ideally to 70. Every year you delay past your full retirement age, your benefit grows by 8%, according to SSA. That's a guaranteed 8% return. No market required. Between 62 and 70, that difference can be $700 to $1,000 per month for the rest of your life, sometimes more depending on your earnings history. But if you retire at 60, you face a bridge problem. You need to cover 2 to 10 years of income before Social Security kicks in, and up to 10 years before you hit the maximum benefit at 70. That bridge period must come entirely from your portfolio or other assets. Factor that gap into your number explicitly. It's not optional math. It's the math that breaks most early retirement plans. Your health and family longevity matter here. If your family history suggests a shorter lifespan, the calculus on delaying Social Security shifts. But for most people, the data favors delay. The SSA's actuarial tables show the average 60-year-old today will live to roughly 83 to 85. Delay wins in most scenarios. Healthcare before Medicare. This is the number most people get wrong. Medicare begins at 65, not 60. If you retire at 60, you face 5 years of private health insurance. The Kaiser Family Foundation reports that the average annual premium for an individual on a marketplace plan was $8,435 in 2024. Add out-of-pocket costs, and many retirees are budgeting $12,000 to $15,000 per year for health care alone during that pre-Medicare window. I work with people 50 and over who are planning their retirement, and the health care gap is the single most consistent budget shock I see. Most people plan for groceries and utilities. Almost no one properly plans for a $60,000 to $75,000 health care cost sitting between retirement and Medicare eligibility. Put that number in your plan explicitly. Your situation varies if you have a spouse still working and carrying employer coverage. But if you're both retiring at 60, assume full private insurance costs. Budget conservatively. The right move is to price actual marketplace plans in your zip code today using healthcare.gov, not estimates, real quotes, and build that into your retirement number before you finalize anything. Catch-up contributions, the late starter advantage. Here's what the tax code actually gives late starters. Once you turn 50, the IRS allows catch-up contributions on top of standard limits. For 2024, that means $30,500 into a 401k, the $23,000 standard limit plus a $7,500 catch-up, according to IRS Publication 560. For an IRA, the limit is $8,000, $7,000 standard, plus a $1,000 catch-up. Secure Act 2.0, passed in 2022, added an even larger catch-up for ages 60 to 63, starting in 2025. People in that age window can contribute up to $34,750 into a 401k. That's the highest allowed contribution in U.S. history for this age group. If you're between 60 and 63 and still working, this is a meaningful advantage. Use it. If you're in a high tax bracket now and expect lower income in retirement, pre-tax 401k contributions reduce your taxable income today. If you expect taxes to rise or you're in a lower bracket now, Roth conversions deserve a hard look. Your tax bracket today determines which direction makes sense. Run the numbers for your specific situation or ask a fiduciary to model it. The data is clear. Even 5 aggressive catch-up years between 55 and 60 can meaningfully close a savings gap. Vanguard's 2024 data shows the median 401k balance for savers aged 55 to 64 is $87,571. The average is $244,750, skewed heavily by high earners. If you're near the median, 5 years of maximum catch-up contributions at a 7% average return could add over $200,000 to your balance. That's not a small number. Your action framework. So here's how to pull this together. Start with your annual spending need. Subtract guaranteed income at the age you plan to claim it. Solve for the portfolio gap using a 3.5% withdrawal rate. Add a dedicated healthcare budget for the pre-Medicare years. Price real marketplace plans, not estimates. Then model your Social Security claiming age as a separate variable and stress test the difference between claiming at 62 versus 70. The gap in lifetime income is almost always larger than people expect. The right move is to build this as a written, one-page income plan, not a spreadsheet with 40 tabs, one page with 5 numbers: spending need, guaranteed income, portfolio gap, healthcare reserve, and Social Security bridge. That single document is what separates the cohort with a plan from the cohort that's guessing. If you're within 10 years of 60, the urgency is real, but it's not panic. The late starter tax advantages, the guaranteed Social Security delay credits, and the power of 5 focused catch-up years all exist precisely because Congress knew people needed them. The framework is there. Use it. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. This is general education, not personalized advice. Consult a fiduciary before acting. If this framework helped clarify your number, subscribe. We publish evidence-based retirement planning content every week specifically for people in their 40s, 50s, and early 60s. If there's a retirement planning question weighing on you, Social Security timing, Roth conversions, or anything else, leave it in the comments. I read everyone and work the best questions into upcoming videos. Next week, we're covering something that blindsides a lot of retirees right around $103,000 in income, Medicare's income-related surcharge, and how to plan around it before it hits your first retirement year. Affiliate links, placeholder, retirement planning tool. This video may contain affiliate links. I only recommend tools I use personally.